Hi, this is Rocky Hall, and today we're going to go over feds and media, feds pretending to be media. A couple things that I've learned, seen, witnessed, and I'd like to share with you, point out a few things, and get your input on it as well. What I'm going to do is utilize the FBI footage from the Moyer Refuge takeover in Burns, Oregon, and show you a few things, go over a few things. What they're doing here is recording, and I'm just edited out the footage, the audio on this because I just want to show you. So just watch and listen, and what you'll see them do is take somebody that's talking and then use that to look at everything else that's around them and take photos and get pictures of everybody that's around, zoom in on people, take photos. So listen to this.
I can't give you the exact date, but that was probably about...
You heard the click. That's the photo. You heard the click, they took the photo, and it's now an FBI discovery of everything that happened in Burns, Oregon. So watch the cameraman when he's videotaping and what he's videotaping. This guy, as you'll see, is definitely not a professional because this camera kind of goes all over the place. You'll see feet, butt, hats. His zooming in and out is not good. So the video footage itself is not good, but what he's doing is taking pictures of everybody around him. And he is utilizing the camera as a front so that he can ask you questions that will trip you up later and can be used against you in court. Now listen.
Right now.
Do you encourage other groups to do the same thing you're doing in other areas of the country?
Now you heard that question. Now when somebody asks you stuff like this, always be aware and then have somebody else recording the media as well so that you can get their face. Now if they don't want to put their face on camera, like I never want to put my face on camera, you'd question it. And I always ask people before I videotape them if they want to be videotaped. But anyway, that's just my personal thing. You're gonna see, I do believe there's two people working together on this team. I believe there's a male and a female. And I hear her voice from time to time, and I think that I catch her in one of the videos, but I'm not sure. I think she's a younger gal with purple hair. But this guy, I've scanned a lot of video and could not find him. So anyway, what you're gonna see is I have detached the audio, and I just want you to watch the videos and how they scan around and what they do. And then the questions that they ask. When they're scanning and they're zooming in on your face, they're getting facial recognition. And then when they click the picture, they've also got facial recognition. And so all this audio and video was used in court. All of this has come out in the discovery, and so now it's public, and I'm going through it, and this is what I see. And so I thought I would do a video about this subject matter. Feds pretending to be media. So if you see something I don't, please tell me, because this is a educational video. Now I want you to listen to this question coming up. Listen.
Thanks.
And there were reports that Ammon was going to leave to Las Vegas. Is that true at all?
No, absolutely not true. I can vouch for that. I was there. No, that was not true.
Just want to clear that up. Thanks.
In that question, they wanted to know where Ammon was going to be. So they're utilizing their position as the media to find out this information. Who is there? Where they're going, what they're doing, and you'll see them talk to people off on the sidelines and ask them questions as well, and I'll try to put some of that in there. So they're fishing for information. but media does that as well. So listen to this.
Me sitting on as I do.
You heard the audio click. You heard it click. You heard the camera click. So they're taking pictures of everybody they could possibly take pictures of. They're using the interview with Lavoie as a cover to take pictures, to scan, to count people, to see how many people are there, to see who's milling about. And you'll see the cameraman scan. I'm going to show more of this as this video goes on. But you'll see him scanning around. Now, you really got a question if you see somebody from the media doing that. And ask for credentials, ask for their business card, ask to take a picture of them. Listen to this question.
Did the people visit the Hammond Ranch yesterday? Or last night, I mean?
Yes, they're...
That would be a question to ask if you want to know how many people are still there at the refuge. And so they can do a body count. They already know how many people went to the Hammond Ranch because they've already got people over there watching the Hammond Ranch. They see people, they're taking pictures of the cars, they're counting bodies, facial recognition. Listen to this.
Have there been a lot of new people showing up to join you?
There have been new people coming. I won't, like I said, divulge how many or numbers.
50, 100, or?
I won't say.
Are you running out of space yet, though?
I won't say either. I won't say either.
Did you watch Obama's?
Asking 3 different ways the same question. How many people are there? They want to know how many people are there. How many people are at the refuge? Then you'll see him utilize the camera and pan around to this car, zoom in on the license plate, and try to get the passenger that's inside of it. And then he goes back to the conference there with Robert Lavoie Fennecum, and he utilizes him this entire time to get everybody that's around him. He even actually hones in on some media, which I found a little interesting. Maybe he wanted to know who they were. I did not see Pete Santilli there at this time, but they get him later. And he's getting ready to scan back around. He's honed in on this guy several times, got a real close-up of him. Then he goes around and he gets everybody going back into the building, and you're going to hear the audio click of the camera.
I know he helped.
And there it is there. You are now in an FBI file.
You follow somebody because he was a leader.
Now that he's got the pictures of the guys by the building there, he's going to scan back to the interview with Lavoie and use it as a cover. So when you're watching for these type of people, watch for this behavior. Watch what they're doing with their cameras, who they're talking to, what the questions are, what they're filming. Ask for credentials. It doesn't hurt, people. It doesn't hurt to ask for credentials. I personally don't have any credentials. I'm retired.
Standing behind us that also has guns. If we had not had those citizens behind us, they would have tased us, zip-tied us, and been done with like this. That would have been over. That was the only, and I might not even be alive today. There's a saying that one sword can keep another sword in its scabbard, and that's in their scabbard. their holsters, not being drawn, not being pointed at people. Don't point guns at people. That's a good thing to live by. Just don't do that. And I even struggle with all the guns that are being pointed at people all across.
Now at this point here, he gets closer to Lavoie so that he can hear the conversation in the background. He wants to know what these guys are talking about behind him. And so he's kind of maneuvering around and getting their conversation because he wants to know what they're saying. And later he will actually go over there and talk to these guys and film them and stuff like that. But right now, you see how close he is to Lavoie, and he got closer. He got stepped up on him a little bit and has angled himself and positioned himself so that he can hear the conversation behind him because he wants to know what these guys are saying back there. In just a second, he goes back there and he starts talking to him. And I don't think anybody should have been talking. It
was 11 years ago, this fire that they're serving time for. They got judge who was over the case says, this is cruel and unusual to throw you in prison for 5 years. I will throw you in for a year and you in for 3 months. So they come out about 7 years ago, having served their time.
This interview with Lavoie is irrelevant to him because you can even hear him sniffling. You wouldn't do that if you were a professional.
This is beautiful. Oh, beautiful. I laid out there all night and I listened to the coyote pack over here, and listened to the coyote pack over there, and then you hear the hoot owl at night and stuff. It's great.
So you said you drove up with Ammon to give flowers to the Hammonds?
Yes. Not Ammon. I drove up with Ryan.
Ryan.
If I said Ammon, I was misspoken.
Okay.
It was the.
He continues to keep the 3 people off to the left, the 3 gentlemen off to the left, in his view of the camera. He is videotaping them, and obviously this is in FBI document. So always be aware of where you're standing in relation to the cameras. Always watch what's around you, always be aware. And he continues to do this for the rest of the video. So I'm just going to cut this off and move along to the next video as this is getting a little long. And now he gets his opportunity to come over and get a close-up and actually get voice recognition with these gentlemen. So he's interviewing them, he's getting close-ups of their face, he's getting them to talk to him, he's trying to get some information out of them, and he's getting facial and audio recognition at this time. Be aware of your surroundings. This is pretty self-explanatory. He zooms in on this guy's face as he's talking on the telephone. Here you have a large group of people. This was a town hall meeting in Burns, Oregon, and watch what he does with the camera. He scans around, and at one point you will see a journalist, a black male journalist, looking square at him. Look at the man's face when he's looking at this guy, videotaping everybody else. I think it's actually kind of funny. But he scans the room. He's getting as many faces as he can. And when this guy makes a statement and people clap, he's also getting who's clapping and stuff like that. So watch what he does as he scans the room. Takes him a minute. He's establishing himself as a journalist. He's way back in the back of the room, and nobody's videotaping him. Everybody's focus is on the speaker. So when he scans the room, you're going to see 99.9% of the people looking at the speaker, until you see the one black male journalist looking at him, and you'll see him in just a minute. He's coming around, he's coming around, he sees all the people, he's getting your faces, And right about now, there's the journalist looking at him. Dude, what's up? He's getting the journalist, he's getting the people in the audience, he's scanning, scanning, scanning. And when he goes to the other side of the room, there is a person with a cell phone recording and not recording the speaker. Against the far back wall behind a sheriff deputy, it looks like, right there. I think that's a lady, I'm not sure. But she's recording, or he's recording, the audience and not the speaker. Why would you record the audience and not the speaker? Unless you're doing a project for college or something like that on human behavior. So, and here we go back to one random guy at the entrance to the Moyer Refuge Harney Resource Center, and one random guy out there. So this guy goes up and he starts interviewing him, and you're going to listen to the questions that he asks him, and you're going to see how he videotapes the landscape, the people, and gets license plates around him while he's doing it at the same time. So continue to watch and listen to the questions.
So where are you from? Where are you coming from?
Washington.
Washington?
Yeah.
Ever done anything like this before?
No.
First time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you a veteran yourself?
No.
No.
Former peace officer.
Cool.
California.
Is the goal to transfer all this land to private ownership? Do you know?
You heard the questions. Let that sink in for a minute. In a normal situation, those questions would be harmless. This is not a normal situation. And those questions are not harmless. And you need to know what you're saying when you answer such questions. And now he's going to zoom in on his face and get as close as he can for facial recognition later. And it's used against him later. So be aware, maybe cover your face and don't ask questions. Answer questions. Do not answer questions. Moving on.
But because of the interest of the eastern part of the United States, that was not allowed to occur, and the federal government retained control over the bass. But by the founders.
Excuse me, sir.
Could you say your name for us?
Did you say your name?
My name is Cliff Gardner.
And you came from Nevada, you said?
I'm here from Nevada.
Did you just get here today?
No, I came in last night.
And are you staying here?
Yeah,
Again, those are not innocent questions, as they're going to be used against you later. He utilizes him to see people in the background, to get close-ups, and to get footage of cars coming and going. This footage right here is of Ammon speaking. I don't see the camera spanning around or anything like that, so I think they just utilized this as something to use against him later in court. I don't hear anything that's derogatory or anything like that, but when you give press interviews, they're going to use it against you later on. So I don't see the camera spanning, searching, or anything like that, but you can see that Ammon himself is out of focus, but the people behind him are not. So that says that they're kind of looking at people behind him. Obviously not a professional with the camera. Kind of like me, just different. This guy's getting paid more. I get paid nothing. Thank you. Have a nice day.
That had concerns, and we talked to these people.
This is our backyard. Now,
in our backyard.
Yeah. Now, are you a terrorist organization? You should have looked around and said, well, why? If we were a terrorist organization, why are all you?
No. No.
How to get a school bus and load them up, bring them out.
Hey, Rich. Follow Ammon all the way down.
Okay.
If you don't mind, just hang out.
Well, we have the The generator.
Got some extension cords.
Wait till
Hey, Ed.
they get back up here, and then
Recognize you hiding there.
and then tell your
That's
story.
what I'm doing.
Please.
Now in this clip here, he scans and gets a lot of pictures of different people and a lot of conversations. He's listening to the conversations, he's taking pictures. The gal in the orange cap right there sees him videotaping her and moves out of the frame. I want to know who she is. She could be the gal working with him. I'm sure there was several. Right there, she sees she's in the frame. She steps out of the frame. She doesn't want to be in the frame. And he's getting a lot of conversations up here at the fire. I know that people were up there just BSing, but this is in Discovery. This is in the FBI investigation. Every single one of these conversations, all these faces. So when you're up there BSing and talking and chucking and jiving, you got to be careful of what you say. And right about now, he's going to scan over and take a picture.
Offer was rejected.
Click.
They'll think about it.
They'll think about it. Okay, so well, open dialogue is good.
Yes.
Having the sheriff up here with his boots on the ground.
You were there last night at this.
Right. And I heard it.
Banquet.
That's
A half hour wide. He's ready to be seen on camera.
There is dialogue.
talking.
If you don't have
So
dialogue,
that's awesome.
Click.
Because because everybody needs to hear from you more than.
And he's not very good.
Ted, give your name and tell us who you are. Christian name.
come to the meeting Friday night, 6 p.m. I can't tell you where it's at because I don't know.
Right.
But you operate on the
cars.
Whenever.
Right. That's right.
Shut you up.
Thank you.
Or them.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, do you want to interview? Do you want to interview? This man, Rich, lives here, and there's a
All
school
of us live
nearby.
here.
That school is.
The audio on this was absolutely horrible, but it did not matter because all he really wanted was his face. Didn't care what he had to say. Just wanted his face because this guy liked to get out there quite a bit. So he did. The voice of Idaho, Michael Emery, was media that the feds wanted to bust. And so they did. They busted him. They caught a lot of video footage of him, and they got him saying things and doing things, and they kind of honed in on him. And so people around him also were kind of looked at, and the people that he hung with were also looked at. So he's somebody that they kind of zeroed in on early because they ran a background check on him. They found out who he was. They ran a background check and they had some information. And that's what they did with most everybody that they got names of and everything else. Who are you? Where you're from? How old are you? Pretty much narrows it down as to who you are. So a background check is a lot easier, and then when they find something, they hone in on you. In another video, in another clip, I questioned who this gal was with the purple hair. Now you see her wiping blood off Emery's hand. This could be utilized as a friendship gesture to get him to open up. And he opened up to somebody. And then they use Michael Emery as a backdrop to take photos. Click and zoom in and click another photo. In this clip, you have this guy scheduling a meeting with Michael Emery and somebody else, and this guy is just blatantly recording his phone conversation. The guy in the green jacket, black hat turns around, sees him, makes eye contact, realizes he's being audio taped, turns around like all of a sudden, because my back is turned, you're not going to record me, and he walks away.
Really proud of my life. Are you recording this? Really proud of my life. Are you recording this?
That gal right there, I like. She straight checked him, and he stopped videotaping her. She questioned, "Are you videotaping me?" She was having a private conversation, and this guy was walking up on people and recording, and nobody that I have seen in all of these videos I've been watching did exactly what she did right there. She questioned him, and he stopped videotaping her. I love that lady. She is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Are you guys from here or from around here?
Yeah.
Or, where are you from?
Burns.
Burns?
Yeah.
It's coming here to support what's going on?
Yep.
Do you think you'll stay with them overnight or just coming to visit?
No.
Is there an event that will be happening later today that you know about that you guys came for, or just to?
Nice to meet you.
You too. Who you with?
I'm with Yahoo.
Yahoo.
Yeah. That's the one. So, is that the only,
That's going to be the only press conference
for today?
Yeah.
So this is where the female starts working with him, and his positioning is done intentional so that you can see the tyranny sign behind him and the "Don't Tread on Me" flag in the background. So if this goes to a jury of 12 and his positioning and all the signs around him, it shows what it shows, and it's not always looked on in favorable light. So when somebody's recording you, be aware of your surroundings, how they position you, what's around, what they're getting, and how it may look to a jury of 12. Always think of these things. Now, what you see in these videos right here, these pictures, is that somebody was actually just walking around and taking pictures of license plates and vehicles and the such. So we know a couple people that have done this, don't we? So when you see somebody just walking around and taking pictures, say something. Say something. And it's usually if you've got somebody in your group, and a female is utilized for this position because they're less threatening and they actually get the job done. Have somebody question, like you saw the female do prior to this when she questioned, "Are you videotaping me?" He walks up and he is just blatantly videotaping somebody's private conversation. She questioned him, he stopped. I have blocked out these license plates because I just thought it was the right thing to do. So when you see somebody doing this, question it. Ask for credentials. Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Can I take your picture? Just the basics. So I hope this has taught us a few things. I know it's taught me a few things. I'm still learning. So when you're out there, please be careful. Watch out for your partners and do your best to keep your damn mouth shut. Thanks. Rocky out.